Do you know where the food you consumed at your last meal came from? For some, it's very important.
Guys,
Hi, hello.
my name is Dana. I'll be taking care of you today. If you have any questions about the menu, please let me know.
I guess I do have a question about the chicken. If you could just tell us a little bit more about it.
The chicken is a heritage breed, woodland-raised chicken that's been fed a diet of sheep's milk, soy, and hazelnuts.
Okay, this is local?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna ask you just one more time. It is local.
It is.
Is that USDA organic or Oregon organic or Portland organic?
It's just all across the board organic.
Hazelnuts, these are local?
How big is the area where the chickens are able to roam free?
I'm sorry to interrupt. I had exactly the same question.
4 acres. Give me just a second. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
She's nice.
We're doing the right thing.
I'm too apologetic.
You are.
I drove way too slow here today, didn't I? I am so weird with that gas pedal. I think just moves the whole vehicle forward, man.
Right, so here is the chicken you'll be enjoying tonight.
You have this information. This is fantastic.
Absolutely. His name was Colin. Here are his papers, okay?
That's great. He looks like a happy little guy who runs around. A lot of friends, other chickens as friends. Putting his little wing around another one and kind of like palling around.
I don't know that I can speak to that level of intimate knowledge about him. They do a lot to make sure that their chickens are very happy.
When you say they, I mean, who are these people raising Colin?
It's a farm that's located about 30 miles south of Portland.
And you have a good relationship with this farm?
We do.
Is that some guy on a yacht who lives in Miami?
Oh,
who's
goodness,
just
no.
saying that he's organic?
It tears at the core of my being the idea of someone just cashing in on a trend like organic.
No, I know the type. No.
Yeah.
Tell you what, we're gonna go check it out if you don't mind. Just if you could hold our seats.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Just want to make sure.
Just, thank you so much, Dana.
Sure.
And for others, it's not so important. Is it important to know where your food is from, packaged, manufactured, and processed? Is it important for our government to mandate these labels on all food products? Would you feel more empowered with this information and protected? Would increased labeling cause you to change your consumption habits?
Federal law requires that certain foods labeled with what country they come. KXLY4's Tanya Dahl explains.
When you go grocery shopping, ever wonder where these bananas or where this pepper came from? Well, starting today, a new law will require that supermarkets use country of origin labeling. It means they need to tell you where bananas and peppers like this came from. You'll be seeing more stickers or labels like this on your next trip down the grocery aisle. It's because of a new federal law requiring country of origin labeling.
I think it's a good idea because you never know what other countries' sanitation laws are.
Simply put, U.S. supermarkets and large food retailers need to tell you where that fresh meat, poultry, or seafood came from. Same goes for fresh and frozen fruits and vegetables, macadamia nuts, pecans, and peanuts.
I really don't think it makes a difference to me with the economy the way that it is. Quite honestly, I would probably still look for the least expensive price.
It's all to give you, the consumer, power. Let's say you know a country has poor health standards, or you want to support American ranchers or farmers. You get a choice by knowing where your food is coming from.
I think that's a good idea since the United States has higher standards, especially for meat product production. You saw diseases in Europe and other places that you don't see in the United States, like the mad cow disease.
There are loopholes. Processed foods such as bacon, roasted peanuts, mixed vegetables, or fruit salads aren't covered. Even small supermarkets that sell meats, poultry, or fish are exempt. But some say knowing is half the battle.
I think that everybody deserves to know what's in their food. Just because it tastes good doesn't mean we should be eating it.
The new requirements go into effect today, but supermarkets have a 6-month grace
The new law discussed in this news report is known as the Cool Law, and it aims to provide consumers with more information about the food they buy. However, the WTO, Canada, and Mexico did not think this law was very cool. And in November 2011, the WTO dispute settlement body found the U.S. Cool Law to be in violation of trade agreements. The U.S. is currently challenging this ruling, and the WTO is set to make a final ruling on the Cool Law later this summer. Ultimately, even though the cool law provides consumers with more information, it can also be viewed as U.S. protectionism and a barrier to trade. While some say the new labels won't influence their choices, it is likely that these labels will influence the choices some people make. Therefore, you might ask yourself, is there another way to increase consumer confidence and not negatively impact trade relations? Can an international regulatory body ease consumers' concerns? There is an international food code, or Codex Alimentaris, that aims to protect consumers and increase trade. Could this be the answer the U.S. is looking for? Codex was created by the World Health Organization and the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations in 1963. The goal of Codex is to harmonize international food standards, guidelines, and practices in terms of food, food production, and food safety in order to protect the health of consumers worldwide. Codex is a science-based organization that has 27 committees that specialize in areas such as fruits and vegetables, fats and oils, meats, poultry and fish, cereals and legumes, milk and milk products, natural mineral waters, sugar, cocoa and chocolate products, food hygiene, food labeling, pesticide residues, food additives, regional coordination, and more. Over the years, Codex has developed over 200 standards covering processed, semi-processed, or unprocessed foods intended for sale for consumers or for intermediary processing. In addition, over 40 hygienic and technical codes of practice have been established. They have evaluated over 1,000 food additives and 54 veterinary drugs, set more than 3,000 maximum levels for pesticide residues, and specified over 30 guidelines for contaminants. While some consider Codex Alimentaris to be a health code, it is important to note that consumer health is only part of its mission. Codex also aims to break down barriers to trade and increase the international trade of food through a set of harmonized trade rules. In 1994, Codex standards were adopted by the WTO and are now used as a reference in international trade disputes concerning food safety and consumer protection. While Codex has created many international food guidelines and standards that have provided the world with a voluntary benchmark in terms of food safety and consumer protection, many of these standards have been heavily criticized as well. A large area of contention has surrounded mineral and vitamin supplements. In 2005, Codex outlined a standard for countries that classified vitamins and supplements as foods, such as the United States. This new standard includes a definition, a composition standard on both minimum and maximum potencies, as well as labeling and packaging guidelines. This recommendation was not extended to countries that classify vitamins and supplements as drugs. Some believe Codex should go as far as to reclassify vitamins and mineral supplements as drugs. That should be regulated by the medical and pharmaceutical industry. This policy change by Codex is one of many policies that have led people to question the true motives behind this international body. And ultimately, many people feel that Codex supports big pharma, big agra, and big chema over the interests of world consumers. However, supporters of Codex argue that these recommendations are voluntary and that the U.S. has not changed its stance on vitamins and supplements since the 2005 recommendation. In addition, supporters believe that if certain standards were implemented worldwide, domestic regulatory bodies, such as the FDA, would be subject to less pressure from the rising food imports inspections, and ultimately American consumers would be better off. What do you think? Should the U.S. increasingly work within the international body Codex to strive for a comprehensive international food standard? Can this international organization harmonize global trade while still protecting world consumers? Could this be a more effective approach to food safety and consumer protection than the Cool Law? Finally, we want to leave you with an overarching question. Can and should states act independently to establish standards in terms of food safety and regulation in our increasingly globalized world, or should there be a sovereignty transfer to an international organization to protect consumers?
I'm all lost in the supermarket. I can no longer shop happily. I came in here for a special offer, guaranteed reality. I wasn't born so much as I fell